The city of Edinburgh holds a lot of history. Whether you see it in the buildings you walk past, or the streets you walk on, there is always a story to be told. Although, over the years, more people seem to have forgotten the people behind some of the greatest advances in human history. Some names many have heard, but never knew they were from Edinburgh. In this documentary, we will be looking at some of the most influential people in the history who came from this historic city. Joseph Bell is a very interesting figure. He is not so remembered for what he achieved, but more so for what he inspired. He was considered to be one of the first and one of the greatest scientific Scottish surgeons of all time. It was because of his extreme attention to detail he was able to pick out very small details in someone. Because of this, Joseph Bell was involved in multiple police investigations, including the infamous Jack the Ripper cases. Joseph Bell would then later become the inspiration for the very famous character everyone knows as Sherlock Holmes. Unfortunately, however, Joseph Bell would later then pass away, with many people not knowing how much of an impact he made on the detective story genre. But the man to thank for immortalizing Joseph Bell would be the creator of Sherlock Holmes himself, Arthur Conan Doyle. Arthur Conan Doyle served as Joseph Bell's clerk at the Edinburgh Royal Infirmary, where Arthur would observe Joseph Bell's talents as he conducted surgeries on his patients. Over the years of working with Joseph, he would eventually go on to write a series of stories creating the fictional character we all know as Sherlock Holmes. The books he created had redefined the detective genre as we know it, and which led to the creation of multiple movies and TV shows. After Arthur passed away, he had an entire pub dedicated to him and the work he did. Now, I'm sure that everyone knows of Alexander Graham Bell. However, you may not know that Bell was actually Scottish born and came from this very city. He would spend most of his childhood in Edinburgh, where from a young age he would show an interest in inventing technology. However, when he entered high school, he would find little interest in the schoolwork, which led him to failing most of his classes. Yet, this did not stop him from following his true passion, where he would later move to London with his grandfather, where he'd go on to invent the very thing that is in your pocket, the telephone. Now, James Clerk Maxwell was probably one of the most important figures for mathematics and science of all time, as he was the man who discovered electromagnetic radiation. His discoveries pushed physics to new heights and is considered to be on the same level of greatness as Newton and even Einstein. Einstein had even commended James Clerk Maxwell for his discoveries and has even said that he stands on the shoulders of Maxwell. However, James has been somewhat forgotten through the years, as many people aren't even aware of what he has done for science. David Hume was a Scottish philosopher born in the early 1700s in Edinburgh who introduced the world to the philosophy of skepticism and the psychology of human nature. Hume wanted to create a world of science and technology that would push the world into a more advanced age without the boundaries of religion. David Hume was one of the first philosophers to actually question the existence of God. However, because many people were religious at the time, he was considered a heretic. When David Hume died, he asked only to be buried in a simple Roman tomb, with only his name inscribed in the stone. There you have it. Those are just a few of the many figures from this city that impacted the future of the world in so many ways. From philosophers to physicists to inventors, each one helped build the future you see today. So, next time you walk around the city of Edinburgh, remember, Behind every statue, every building, there was a human being who helped propel our world to the future we live in today. Though their names may be forgotten through time, their achievements will always be remembered.